Well, I just experienced a Mercedes-Benz ML320 doing the weirdest thing in the world. This hip chick was just ahead of me by half a block. We were leaving Walmart, and she stopped in the middle of the road, and I said, "Why are you stopping?" She said, "The wheels are locking up, the truck is going sideways." I said, "What are you talking about?" So I jumped in this thing, and I drove it a few feet, and it was fine. So she gets in it, switch positions again in the middle of a busy road, and I see the Mercedes sort of swerving a bit, like she was yanking the wheel. So I jumped out of the Blazer plow truck, back in the Mercedes, and it moves a few feet, and it feels like the left front wheel is locking up, like a bad wheel bearing that I had happen to the two-wheel drive Suburban when I was driving it back from Florida, going 70 miles an hour on the interstate. I knew the wheel bearing was a little loose. I bought a brand new one, forgot to bring it with, and all of a sudden I stopped, got to a hotel, went out for dinner, and I pull out of the parking lot, and as soon as I exit the parking lot, within a few feet, the wheel totally seizes up, and I never heard a wheel crunching so badly in my life. And the vehicle stopped moving. I thought I ran over an encampment of homeless people. Anyways, I changed the wheel bearing, da-da-da-da-da. Now I see the police way up ahead. She's driving the plow, and the plow went down. Hope she didn't get stopped. I showed her how to lift it up. Anyhow, so I get in this vehicle, and the wheel's going, clunk, and then it releases for a split second. This warning light is flashing in the middle of the dash, then it goes off. It goes back on, and the vehicle is going, clunk, like a wheel bearing has seized. And she told me it did it last week, and I said, "What are you talking about? Vehicles don't put their brakes on by themselves." Well, I drove this thing, and it did. The brakes were locking up on this wheel. It would screech for a second, then it would release, and the vehicle would roll a few more feet, and it would do it again. And I thought the wheel bearing was going bad, but it would smooth out for a couple of seconds and start its dance again. Anyways, I drove it like that for, what, 500 feet, 1,000 feet, a few hundred meters? Not very far. And then all of a sudden, it released, the vehicle accelerated normally, and now this light has come on, BAS ESP. And I have no idea what happened. It's nothing to do with that center support bearing, and I know Mercedes are nothing but trouble, but every vehicle has its problems. The 5.3 in the Suburban, the LS motor, the 5.3 has an O-ring for a pickup tube for the oil in the oil pan, and those things break, and it sucks air, and you lose oil pressure, blah, 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 blah. But I wish I would have had my phone with me. I jumped out of the Blazer in the middle of a busy street to jump in this thing just to drive it off the side of the road, and that wheel was going like the brakes were applying by themselves. Oh, there it is. I saw the cops up ahead, but they weren't bothering her. She was driving the thing down the street for a block with the plow down, scraping away. She didn't know how to lift it up because she was looking for the emergency brake. Anyhow, quite the excitement at 10:30 at night, and I don't know why. Blazer. I got a couple of those sitting out west to go pick up. I don't know what the heck was happening, but I swear it was a wheel bearing seizing, but it didn't feel like it. But you know, every vehicle's got its different idiosyncrasies. But could the left front wheel apply its own brake and go, and then all of a sudden just snap out of it? And I didn't do anything to the vehicle. I haven't even plugged in. I bought Scotty Kilmer recommended a computer code reader, so I bought it, and I can barely read it. I got to read the instruction manual. In the meantime, the check engine light went off, but that light's on now in the bottom corner, and the emergency thing, warning light was flashing, like when I had it up in the air and the wheels were all spinning at different speeds. So I suspect there's either a computer problem or maybe just as minor as a wheel sensor, and it's applying that left front brake. And I don't even think this thing has stability control, but it's got something. BAS, I can barely read it. BAS ESP. So anybody, if you've got any ideas of what could be the heck wrong with this vehicle, yeah, I know you can carry on about the Mercedes. Every vehicle breaks down. They all got too many computers and too much wiring and too many sensors, and that's just what happens when you buy an old vehicle. It pays you money and it takes your chances. Blazer. So the wheel's not locking up now, but what am I going to do? She's got to go to work tomorrow morning. Not very far, but this thing is freaking a disaster. It was going clunk and spinning a half a revolution and locking up again like the brakes were trying to apply themselves because of a bad sensor. Who's the Mercedes specialist? I know. Send it off to the wrecker. I know.